What if I told you there's a shadowy organization operating in plain sight, pulling strings behind some of the most horrifying crimes known to humanity? A group so sinister that their actions have left entire communities paralyzed with fear, and yet no one dares speak their name. The screen fades to black as unsettling whispers echo faintly in the background. Then, an eerie still image appears. A grainy photograph of hooded figures standing in what looks like an abandoned warehouse. The caption reads, "Are they watching you right now? Welcome back, truth seekers." Today, we're diving deep into the chilling world of the Sinister Syndicate, a secret network rumored to orchestrate acts of terror across the globe. From unsolved disappearances to ritualistic murders, these stories will send shivers down your spine and make you question everything you thought you knew about evil. But here's the catch. This isn't just conjecture or urban legend. What we uncover today is based on real accounts, leaked documents, and first-hand testimonies from those brave enough or foolish enough to dig too deeply. By the end of this video, you'll understand why people are terrified to even whisper the Syndicate's name. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear may change how you see the world forever. Segment 1. The disappearance of Sarah Caldwell, 2 minutes. Let's start with a story that sent shockwaves through a small Midwestern town in 2018. Sarah Caldwell was an ordinary college student, bright, ambitious, and loved by everyone who knew her. But one night, she vanished without a trace. Her car was found abandoned on a remote highway, keys still in the ignition. There were no signs of struggle, no ransom demands, nothing. Just silence. Days turned into weeks, and police hit dead ends at every turn. That is, until someone stumbled upon something strange. Hidden inside Sarah's dorm room was a journal filled with cryptic entries. One line stood out. "They know. They've been watching me." Beneath it was a crude drawing of a triangle surrounded by flames. Experts later identified it as a symbol linked to occult practices dating back centuries. Months after her disappearance, hikers discovered Sarah's remains in a desolate forest miles away from civilization. Her body bore markings consistent with ancient rituals. Authorities refused to comment further, but locals began whispering about the ones who wear masks. And that's when things got really strange. Deep in the heart of Blackwood Forest lies a place locals call Devil's Hollow, said to be cursed, a breeding ground for dark forces. For years, campers have reported seeing shadowy figures moving between the trees, always wearing grotesque masks carved from bone. In 2020, a group of friends decided to test the legends for themselves. Armed with cameras and flashlights, they ventured into the woods, determined to capture proof of paranormal activity. What they recorded would haunt them for the rest of their lives. First, all seemed quiet. Then, around midnight, their equipment started malfunctioning. Batteries drained instantly. Shadows darted just beyond the edge of their vision. And then came the laughter, low, guttural chuckles echoing from nowhere and everywhere at once. Suddenly, one of them screamed. The others turned to see him backing away, pointing at something in the distance. Through the trees stood 3 figures, each wearing a mask unlike anything they'd ever seen. Their eyes glowed faintly red under the moonlight. Before anyone could react, the trio vanished into thin air. When authorities reviewed the footage, they dismissed it as a prank gone wrong. But here's the thing. None of the victims ever returned to Blackwood Forest. Not one of them could explain what happened that night, or why they felt compelled to leave town immediately afterward. Some say the masked men are part of the Sinister Syndicate, sent to eliminate anyone who gets too close to uncovering their secrets. Others believe they're something far older, something not entirely human. Now let's talk about the internet, the perfect hiding place for those who wish to remain unseen. Deep within the dark web exists a forum known only as the Triangle. Accessible only through encrypted channels, its members communicate using aliases and coded messages. One user, going by the handle Watcher, claimed to have infiltrated the Sinister Syndicate. Over several months, Watcher posted detailed accounts of their activities, including photos of meetings held in underground bunkers and blueprints of buildings marked for cleansing. According to Watcher, the Syndicate operates like a well-oiled machine. Each member has a specific role, whether it's gathering intel, executing orders, or covering tracks. Their ultimate goal? To instill chaos and fear wherever they go, creating a world where power belongs solely to them. But then Watcher disappeared. Their final post read, "If you're reading this, it means I'm already gone. Whatever you do, don't look for me. Trust no one." Investigators traced Watcher's IP address to a rundown apartment building in Chicago. Inside, they found evidence of prolonged captivity, but no sign of the person themselves. The walls were covered in frantic scribbles. Numbers, symbols, and repeated warnings to run while you still can. Was Watcher silenced by the very organization they sought to expose? Or did they fall victim to something even more sinister? Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Sinister Syndicate is its alleged ties to cults worldwide. Take, for example, the Cult of Eternal Night, a secretive sect believed to worship an entity they call the Devourer. Members reportedly gather during lunar eclipses to perform blood sacrifices, believing that such acts appease their god and grant them protection. Survivors of these ceremonies describe scenes straight out of a nightmare. Chanting crowds, altars dripping with crimson, and a presence so overwhelming it felt almost tangible. One survivor, a young woman named Emily, managed to escape after witnessing her brother sacrificed before her eyes. She recounted how the leader, a man cloaked entirely in black, spoke of serving a higher purpose, one dictated by the syndicate itself. Emily's testimony led authorities to raid a suspected cult compound in rural Texas. What they found defied explanation. Cages containing mutilated animals, jars filled with preserved organs, and walls adorned with the same triangular symbol found in Sarah Caldwell's journal. While many arrests were made, key leaders vanished overnight, leaving behind only a single message scrawled in blood. This is just the beginning. By now, you might be wondering, is the Sinister Syndicate real, or merely a fabrication born out of paranoia and fear? Unfortunately, the answer is far more complicated than either extreme. Leaked government documents obtained by investigative journalists suggest that officials have been aware of the syndicate's existence for decades. Classified memos refer to them as a loosely affiliated network of individuals and cells operating independently but sharing common goals. These goals include destabilizing societal structures, exploiting vulnerable populations, and spreading terror for profit. Even more alarming, some insiders claim the syndicate has infiltrated positions of power, politics, law enforcement, even entertainment. If true, this means their influence extends far beyond isolated incidents, shaping our reality in ways we may never fully comprehend. And perhaps the most terrifying revelation of all? The syndicate doesn't act alone. Rumors persist of alliances with other shadowy organizations, each with its own agenda. Together, they form a web of corruption and malevolence spanning. So ask yourself, how much of what you see and hear is genuine? And how much is carefully orchestrated by those who thrive on chaos? Real horror isn't confined to movies or books. Sometimes the scariest stories are the ones unfolding right under our noses. The Sinister Syndicate may sound like fiction, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Who knows? Maybe they're closer than you think. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, hit that subscribe button and join our community of curious minds. Every week, we explore the darkest corners of history, uncovering truths too shocking to ignore. And if you have a story of your own, one you've kept hidden out of fear, it's time to share it. Comment below, and together, we'll shine a light on the shadows. Until next time, remember, evil thrives when good people stay silent.